All right, welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Today we're going to be tackling why so many students are deciding to study abroad.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic. I'm excited to dig in.
Me too. And
Yeah.
and specifically, we're looking at those who are coming to North America.
Yeah. The US, the UK, and Canada, those are big destinations.
Huge, yeah. I mean, everyone's heard of those big name schools, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you got Harvard, you got Oxford, Cambridge. These are global institutions.
Exactly. So you gave me this transcript from the Global Goals podcast,
Yeah.
and it looked as a really interesting conversation with some students who've actually gone through the process.
Yes, they get into the nitty-gritty of why they chose to study abroad, what the challenges were, what the benefits were. It's a pretty insightful look.
Yeah, that's what we're going to try and figure out.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that is driving this huge movement of students?
Well, the first thing that really jumps out at you is the sheer scale of it.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about over 5 million students studying outside their home countries.
That's a lot of people.
It is, and it's growing every year.
It makes you wonder what's behind that, you know? Why are so many people deciding?
Right.
Like, is it all just about going to Harvard or Oxford?
Well, that's certainly part of it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
The transcript talks about this idea of quality education. Students are drawn to these top-ranked universities.
Yeah.
The ones that have a reputation for academic excellence. They want to study with the leading experts in their field.
And so they're going for the best of the best.
The best of the best, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really serious about your education,
Yeah.
you're going to want to go where you can learn the most, right?
And it's not just about the name on the degree either.
Okay.
The transcript also highlights the importance of global exposure.
What do they mean by that?
Well, it's about experiencing different cultures firsthand,
Right.
immersing yourself in a new environment.
Makes sense.
You know, learning a new language, making new friends from all over the world. It's about broadening your horizons.
It's like a life experience almost as much as it is
Yeah.
an educational one.
Absolutely. And all of that can be incredibly valuable in today's globalized world.
Okay, so we've got the quality education, the global exposure.
Yeah.
Are there any other big reasons that people are choosing to study abroad?
Well, let's not forget about career prospects.
Ah, yes. The transcript mentions career boost as a key factor.
Exactly. In a competitive job market, having an international degree can really set you apart.
Yeah. You're going to stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely. It shows employers that you're adaptable, that
Yeah.
you're comfortable working with people from different backgrounds.
Cross-cultural skills.
Yeah, all essential skills in today's globalized world.
So it's a strategic move for your future.
Absolutely. And then there's research and innovation.
Oh, right. For those students who are really pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. The US, UK, and Canada are home to some of the world's leading research institutions.
Yeah, they're really at the forefront of a lot of fields.
And students are drawn to that. They want to be a part of that cutting edge research.
That makes a lot of sense.
So those are some of the big picture reasons.
Okay, so we understand why students might choose to study abroad in general.
Right.
But what is it about the US, the UK, and Canada specifically
Yeah.
that makes them so attractive?
Well, each country has its own unique appeal,
Yeah.
but they all share some common strengths.
Okay.
Let's start with the United States.
Okay.
The US is home to some of the most prestigious universities in the world.
Yeah, we mentioned Harvard and MIT earlier.
Exactly. And there are many others like Stanford, Caltech, you know, the list goes on.
And these schools, they have a reputation for academic rigor.
Absolutely. They attract top faculty from all over the world,
Yeah.
and they have cutting-edge research facilities.
But the transcript also mentions something interesting about the American system. It talks about the flexibility that students have.
That's right. You know, in many other countries, students have to choose their major right away.
Oh, really?
But in the US, they have more space to explore different subjects before they commit.
Oh, I see. So they have more time to figure out what they're really passionate about.
Exactly. There's this great quote from a student in the transcript. They say, "I loved having the space to figure it out."
Oh, that's really cool.
And that flexibility, it's not just about academics.
Okay.
It extends to campus life as well.
So what do they mean by that?
Well, American universities are known for their vibrant campus cultures.
Yeah.
There are so many clubs and organizations to join, sporting events to attend. It's really about the whole experience.
So it's not just about hitting the books.
No, it's about growing as a person as well.
Okay.
And of course, the US is a leader in so many fields.
Yeah.
Technology, business, STEM fields. There are opportunities there that you might not find anywhere else.
Right. So the U.S. has got this combination of prestigious universities,
Yeah.
a flexible system,
Yeah.
and a vibrant campus life.
Exactly.
What about the UK? What makes them stand out?
Well, the UK has its own set of strengths.
Okay.
One of the things that really stands out is the efficiency of their degree programs.
Oh, right. The transcript mentions that their degrees are often shorter than in other countries.
Yeah. You can typically complete a bachelor's degree in 3 years and a master's in just 1 year.
So you can save a lot of time.
A lot of time and money.
Yeah, that's a big consideration.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the quality of the universities.
Oh, yeah. The UK has got some world-class institutions.
Absolutely. Oxford, Cambridge, UCL, Imperial College London.
Yeah.
These are globally recognized universities.
They have a long history of academic excellence.
They do.
Yeah.
And they're also located in some of the most vibrant cities in the world.
Yeah, London, Edinburgh. These are amazing places to live and study.
They are. And the UK is also a very diverse country.
So you're going to meet people from all over the world.
Exactly. And there's this great quote from a student in the transcript. They say, "I loved the 1-year master's program and the world-class teaching."
So they're getting a great education and they're doing it in a really efficient way.
Exactly. And the UK is particularly strong in certain fields like history, political science, medicine, and the arts.
Okay, so the UK has got efficient degrees,
Yeah.
world-class universities,
Yeah,
and a diverse and vibrant culture.
absolutely.
Now, what about Canada? What makes them unique?
Well, one of the things that often draws students to Canada is affordability.
Right, the transcript mentions that tuition fees and the cost of living can be lower in Canada,
Yeah, compared to the US and the UK.
which can make a big difference for students and their families.
Huge difference. And Canada's also known for its welcoming immigration policies.
Yeah, they seem to be really open to international students.
They are. They recognize the value that international students bring to the country.
That's great.
And Canada has a very high quality of life.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Safe cities, clean environment, beautiful nature.
Sounds pretty idyllic.
It is. And Canadian universities are known for their strong student support services.
So they're really looking after their students,
They are. And that can be really important for students who are far away from home.
especially if they're feeling a little bit homesick.
Exactly. And there's this lovely quote from a student in the transcript. They say, "Canada felt like home. It was so easy to settle in, and I felt valued as an international student."
Oh, wow. That's really heartwarming to hear.
It is. So Canada offers this combination of affordability, welcoming policies, a high quality of life, and strong student support.
So we've talked about all the great things about studying abroad.
Mm.
We've talked about the US, the UK, and Canada.
Yeah.
But the transcript also talks about some of the challenges that students might face.
Right.
We should probably talk about those too.
Absolutely. It's important to be realistic.
Yeah.
Studying abroad can be an incredible experience, but it's not always easy.
So what are some of the challenges that students might run into?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is often the cost,
Yeah, tuition fees and living expenses can be really high.
especially in the US and the UK.
And then there's the visa application process.
Yeah, that can be quite complex and time consuming.
And what about just being away from home for so long?
Yeah, homesickness is a real thing.
Yeah, you're in a new country, you're away from your family and friends,
It's a big adjustment.
and sometimes there can be culture shock as well, right?
Absolutely. You know, different cultures have different customs, different ways of doing things.
And that can take some getting used to.
It can. And the transcript also mentions that the recognition of academic qualifications can vary from country to country.
So you might have to do some extra work to get your degree recognized back home.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of.
So there are definitely some challenges to consider.
There are.
But the transcript also makes it clear that for many students, the rewards far outweigh the challenges.
Yeah,
They talk about the personal and professional growth they experience.
exactly. Studying abroad can be a truly transformative experience.
You're learning new skills.
Yeah.
You're expanding your worldview.
You're making connections that can last a lifetime.
It's an investment in your future.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners who might be thinking about studying abroad,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways from this conversation?
Well, I think the first takeaway is to do your research.
Right.
Don't just pick a country or university based on its name.
Yeah.
Think about your goals, your interests, your budget.
Really Really think about what you want to get out of the experience.
Exactly. And the second takeaway is to start planning early.
The earlier, the better.
The earlier the better, especially when it comes to things like visa applications and financing.
And don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Yeah, talk to people who have studied abroad before.
They can give you some really valuable advice.
And lastly, be open to new experiences.
That's key.
Embrace the challenge. Step outside your comfort zone.
You're going to learn so much about yourself and about the world.
Absolutely.
So to sum up, we've talked about why students are choosing to study abroad in record numbers.
We've looked at the specific appeals of the US, the UK, and Canada.
Yeah.
And we've discussed some of the challenges and rewards that students might encounter.
But I think the biggest takeaway is that studying abroad can be a truly life-changing experience.
It can.
It's an opportunity to broaden your horizons,
Yeah.
to develop new skills,
To make lifelong connections.
and to invest in your future.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners out there, I want to leave you with a final thought.
Yeah.
As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, how might this trend of studying abroad impact our future?
It's a really interesting question to think about.
What will the world look like when millions of students have had these global experiences?
How will they shape our economies, our societies, our cultures?
It's an exciting time to be a part of this global movement.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.